Death is one of humanity's greatest mysteries, a topic that can elicit fear, awe, or deep philosophical reflection. Yet in Hinduism, informed by the vast ancient tapestry of Vedic tradition, death is not a dead end, but a sacred threshold. For many in the modern world where death is often sanitized or avoided, these ancient teachings offer a fresh, transformative lens. Why does this matter to you, a modern viewer? In an era consumed by daily hustle, fleeting social media feeds, and existential anxieties, the Vedic worldview anchors our deepest questions in a grand cosmic drama. The Rigveda, Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, and the Garuda Purana all weave a cohesive narrative where death is seamlessly integrated into the cyclical fabric of existence. This narrative isn't just esoteric. It shapes how families grieve, how individuals live, and how communities structure their ethical norms. If you find value here, remember to like, share, and subscribe to keep this conversation going. Let's delve into a topic that, while often shrouded in silence, holds the key to understanding the eternal aspects of our being. To grasp the roots of Hindu views on death, we must look to the Vedas, ancient texts composed over 3 millennia ago. The Rigveda, the oldest among them, portrays death not as a final snuffing out, but as part of the cosmic cycle. Early hymns address deities like Yama, the god of death, who is seen as both a guide and guardian, shepherding departed souls to a restful realm. Considered the first mortal to die, Yama becomes the divine gatekeeper of the afterlife. Vedic people performed elaborate rituals guiding the soul, often referred to simply as the deceased one, to join ancestors in a realm of peace. A verse from the Rigveda prays, "May your soul ascend to the heavens, crossing over to the realm of the ancestors, where light prevails over darkness." While these hymns sound archaic, they highlight an accepting stance towards death, an integral, predictable transition that allows for continued, albeit transformed existence. The Vedas champion a cyclical worldview. Night follows day. Creation follows dissolution. In this scheme, physical death is akin to nightfall in a grand cosmic schedule. It is a pause, not an erasure. Philosophically, this cyclical notion dampens the shock factor of mortality, reminding believers that the universe runs on birth, growth, decay, and eventual renewal. As Hindu thought matured, Upanishads emerged, focusing less on ritual and more on the metaphysical and psychological aspects of reality. Death here transforms from a ritualized event into a gateway for spiritual awakening. The Katha Upanishad narrates young Nachiketa's encounter with Yama. Nachiketa, unwavering in curiosity, asks Yama to reveal what truly happens after death. Yama, impressed by his sincerity, discloses profound truths. He says that the soul isn't subject to birth or annihilation. It transcends the physical body. Yama initially tempts Nachiketa with worldly gains, but the boy rejects them, illustrating how unwavering focus on ultimate reality can unveil deeper knowledge. This story depicts an inner confrontation with mortality. In Carl Jung's terms, Nachiketa's courageous questioning of Yama parallels the ego's confrontation with the shadow aspects of the psyche: fear, attachment, illusions. By withstanding temptation, Nachiketa integrates these aspects, stepping closer to self-realization. If the Upanishads provide spiritual theory, the Bhagavad Gita tests these ideas in a practical setting: war. Arjuna, paralyzed by moral dread and the prospect of killing his own relatives, grapples with the specter of death head-on. Krishna's guidance unpacks the Vedic understanding of mortality, soul, and dharma. Krishna's iconic reassurance: "Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be." This statement cements the concept that death affects only the body, not the Atman. Krishna likens discarding an old body at death to changing worn-out clothes. Fear of death, then, stems from a misunderstanding of our true nature. Arjuna's initial refusal to fight highlights the trauma of mortality. Krishna counters that dharmic responsibility surpasses personal sorrow. If the soul is immortal, Arjuna's reluctance is misdirected. It's more important to uphold cosmic order than to yield to fear. This approach, while seemingly endorsing conflict, underscores the ethical tension between one's role, warrior in Arjuna's case, and empathy. Applied broadly, it suggests that engaging in righteous action, even when it risks life and death, is part of fulfilling cosmic order. When confronted with mortality, from a spiritual vantage, the Gita transforms fear into impetus for virtuous action. In psychological terms, letting go of, clinging to life, frees the individual to serve higher values, justice, compassion, or self-realization. While the Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita present philosophical frameworks, the Garuda Purana offers vivid, sometimes startling details on post-death experiences. Often recited during funeral rites, it's a dialogue that underscores how souls travel across subtle planes. Generally attributed to Lord Vishnu's discourse via Garuda, his eagle mount, the text addresses post-death rites, moral guidelines, and cosmic geography. Over centuries, layers were added, shaping a final text that meticulously outlines the afterlife's mechanic. Physical death and cremation. The body is offered to flames, signifying the return of elements to nature, while the subtle body detaches. The soul meets the divine accountant, who reviews its karmic record. Governed by Yama, souls with unresolved karmic debts undergo experiences proportionate to their earthly actions, akin to purgation or trial. The soul lingers in transitional spheres, reflecting on lessons before rebirth. The text describes hellish realms for severe wrongdoers, temporary punishments that purify. Depending on the balance of karma, the soul is either reborn or moves closer to moksha. The Garuda Purana underscores the importance of post-death rites. The first one being Shraddha, which are the ceremonies that feed and appease the departing souls in subtle realms, or Tarpan, which are the water libations that help the soul manage thirst or desire left over from earthly lives. Some interpret these afterlife descriptions as literal truths, others see them as moral allegories. The Purana's emphasis on moral accountability resonates with universal human concerns. How do our choices reverberate beyond our lifetime? Ultimately, the Garuda Purana merges cosmic imagination with moral seriousness, offering a detailed afterlife roadmap that emphasizes personal responsibility and cosmic justice. Carl Jung viewed death as the final phase of individuation. Just as birth initiates the psyche into material existence, death represents a return to the unconscious totality. The Vedic tradition, meanwhile, teaches that the Atman transcends bodily death. This synergy is compelling. Jung's notion of confronting the shadow to attain psychological wholeness parallels the Vedic idea that individuals must face the consequences of their actions, that is, karma, to evolve or achieve moksha. Clinging to the ego intensifies fear of death, whereas acknowledging a higher self or wholeness eases existential dread. Both frameworks see confronting mortality as integral to personal and spiritual transformation. Friedrich Nietzsche posited eternal recurrence, the infinite repetition of all events. In Samsara, the soul faces an endless sequence of births and deaths, each life shaped by karma. Both highlights the gravity of every action, since existence potentially loops forever. Yet while Nietzsche's perspective compels us to affirm life's cyclical nature, the Vedic path allows a soul to transcend the cycle via moksha. Both frameworks emphasize moral and existential stakes, but with distinct end goals. Nietzsche's radical acceptance versus Hinduism's transcendence of the cycle. In Hindu culture, the final departure of the physical body is honored through antyesti, or the final sacrifice. The Garuda Purana provides guidance on how these rites ensure the soul's liberation. Fire, Agni, purifies and liberates the subtle body from earthly attachments. Specific verses, that is, mantras, protect the soul from malevolent forces and guide it toward auspicious realms. Family members are encouraged to participate actively, facing mortality head-on, which aids in the grieving process. Psychologically, this direct engagement with death fosters acceptance and communal support, a stark contrast to societies that hide death behind curtains. Garuda Purana underscores that the soul, after leaving its earthly vessel, may experience thirst, hunger, or emotional attachments in subtle form. To mitigate these, relatives offer Shraddha rites. The first one being the Pindadan, that is, rice balls placed symbolically to feed the departed. Tarpan, that is, libations of water to quench karmic thirst. Faith and devotion. Sincerity matters as much as the ritual mechanics. Modern parallels exist in many cultures, memorial masses and annual commemorations, or ancestor days. Such customs unify families across generational lines, reinforcing moral continuity. Modern life often fixates on material progress, sidestepping mortality's inevitability. Vedic teachings, however, propose that regularly remembering death can enhance mental clarity and life satisfaction. Accepting the body's transience leads to reduced anxiety, that is, realizing your essence persists beyond physical form, which helps to diffuse existential stress. Knowing life is finite urges mindful living, forging compassion and sincerity in interpersonal relations. By acknowledging that each moment could be a step closer to death, you harness the day's potential for growth, creativity, and kindness. Dharma represents righteous duty, acting ethically for the collective good. When Hindus accept that death propels the soul into new realms, it invests mundane tasks with cosmic significance. Karma sets the stage for the soul's afterlife experiences, so kindness, honesty, and selflessness become crucial investments. This viewpoint fosters accountability for how you treat others, steward resources, and contribute to social welfare. In a broader sense, it resonates with global efforts, human rights, ecological stewardship, or justice initiatives. Embracing a karmic worldview might galvanize global-minded individuals to see their daily acts as integral to the planet's future. For those confronting the immediate reality of losing a loved one, the Garuda Purana's teachings on soul continuity can offer solace. Rituals like Shraddha or symbolic acts like charitable offerings in the departed's name allow grief to merge with spiritual compassion. Family members discover a purposeful way to channel sorrow into something that spiritually benefits both the living and the departed. In modern therapy, acknowledging death is key to healthy mourning. The Purana's structured approach to post-death rituals aligns with these principles, reinforcing that closure and spiritual significance need not be mutually exclusive. Throughout this in-depth exploration, we have touched upon multiple facets: the Vedic concept of death as a transformative passage, the Upanishadic and Gita teachings that impart fearlessness, the Garuda Purana's detailed afterlife path, and parallels with Jung and Nietzsche. Such a tapestry of ideas underscores a simple truth. Death isn't a final shut door, but a pivot in a cosmic journey. Our modern, fear-driven avoidance of death deprives us of the introspection that can lead to a healthier, more purposeful life. Vedic wisdom invites us to see each breath as part of an infinite continuum. Whether you resonate with literal descriptions from the Garuda Purana or interpret them as allegories for karmic law, the underlying principle remains: live in harmony, for life extends beyond the visible horizon. Let the knowledge of death motivate you to settle conflicts, express love, and engage in spiritual practices, be it meditation, prayer, or acts of kindness. Recognize that acknowledging death liberates you to pursue meaning, a sentiment echoed by existential psychologists and gurus alike. In ancient India, death was both solemnly respected and embraced as part of a divine order. In a world hungry for authenticity, these age-old teachings guide us to face our fears, nurture deeper empathy, and live each day with unwavering awareness.